Julian. I don't know where I felt like I get a little drink around here, do you, bud?
What's up, guys? It's Benny. FDR famously said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And what if the only thing that you fear is yourself? Right? If you're Kamala Harris and you haven't had an authentic or original thought in your entire life, you know that you've been a DEI hire. You know that you have an IQ of somewhere around 60 or 70. You have trouble breathing unaided. You clearly should be wearing a helmet to work. And now you're running for president. Nobody voted for you. Nobody wanted you. Not even Joe Biden wants you. Your own family doesn't want you. You're a fraud, and you can't withstand actual real questions. That's why you're so angry and bitter. That's why you have to control everything so very much. Of course, the president at the time, Joe Biden, can't even make it up a flight of stairs without falling. Everything's in shambles. This is what you fear. You fear somebody actually asking you questions and making them hard questions where you have to be authentic and find something that just isn't there, right? Which is your authentic self. This is why Kamala Harris did podcasts like this. The Call Her Daddy Blowjob Sex podcast. We're write what you know. Kamala Harris bombed on this podcast. It got ratioed. Compare this to Donald Trump on Joe Rogan, which was just 3.5 hours of like pure authenticity and hilarity and humor and good nature and goodwill. 55 million views. Donald Trump getting a absolute golden ratio here. 2 million to only 50,000 dislikes. Pretty impressive, honestly, for the size of that show. Ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris can't be a real person because she's forgotten how to be. Maybe somewhere long ago there was an actual Kamala Harris. Now this is what Kamala Harris sounds like unscripted.
I know that mold is at an all-time high today, which is the one thing I am allergic to.
Yeah.
Okay. Pollen is down.
Mold is up.
Mold is up. You know, I know that as a matter of fact because I was watching CBS this morning.
There you go.
Now that I think about it.
Learn something new every day.
What would have happened if the media would have like actually done its job in 2024 and not gotten down on their knees and done everything they possibly could to serve Kamala Harris? What if they had actually served the American public, which is, of course, their function? CBS was just forced to release the full Kamala Harris interview that they butchered and severely edited to make her sound like she had a functional brain stem. She does not, and we dodged a bullet. Ladies and gentlemen, this full interview is so very hard to watch. It's something that is a result of President Trump's lawsuits. President Trump sued ABC News for defaming him. They had to pay $15 million and apologize to Trump. He sued Facebook for taking him off the platform. Facebook paid $25 million. And now President Trump is suing CBS for editing and butchering this interview with Kamala Harris. They wouldn't release the full transcript. They wouldn't release the full interview. Why not just release it? They changed Kamala Harris's answers in this interview. And they did so in a way that Trump is arguing rigged the election, or at least tried to rig the election in favor of Kamala Harris. CBS is a public broadcaster, meaning that they require a public license to broadcast over American airwaves as a massive benefit to their business model. These are the kind of things that can be rescinded, and so they're walking a very dangerous line right now. CBS staff alarmed at reports of settlement talks with Trump over 60 Minutes Harris interview, so they're about to potentially settle with Donald Trump. And Trump has a great argument here. Let's go ahead and listen to Jesse Waters break it down.
Hands on the raw footage of Kamala Harris's 60 Minutes interview. Last October, in the heat of the election, Harris, Hail Mary with CBS. But the network was caught deceptively editing this answer. Watch.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening. The Wall Street Journal said that that your administration has repeatedly been blindsided by Netanyahu. And in fact, he has rebuffed just about all of your administration's entreaties.
Well, Bill, The work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region. And we're not going to stop doing that. We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Trump sued CBS for $10 billion, and it looks like they might settle. But before that happens, the FCC released the full interview, unedited, and we have the tape.
Ladies and gentlemen, they went along showing exactly how, dodging a bullet. The American public dodged a bullet the way that Trump dodged a bullet in Butler, man, with these answers.
For an hour and left a lot out. Here's an answer that never made air. Watch.
I'm trying to understand how it is that with this emphasis on the border, the numbers of crossings quadrupled under the first 3 years of the Biden-Harris administration. How did that happen?
There are a variety of factors that relate to what we have seen globally and what we are not immune from at our own border in terms of what we have seen in terms of surge of immigration and irregular migration. And there are solutions at hand, but we've got to have leaders who are solution-oriented, which we've been and are.
What does that even mean? Here's a challenge. Try and decipher some actual real-world piece of knowledge from answers like this.
CBS also cut out their host pressing Kamala on how she's going to pay for all of her giveaways.
If all of this makes so much sense, why has this not been done? You're dealing with a Congress that is divided, that many are in opposition to not only you but your policies. So how are you going to make this come true?
Bill, if I approached my life as though, well, it's never been done before, therefore it cannot be done, I wouldn't be sitting here in this interview with you. That's the truth.
Lady got no votes. Like, nobody voted for her. Nobody voted for her in a primary. She didn't win anything. She lost in a landslide. And mainly due to, again, the fact that everything's fake. It's not real. It's Fugazi. It's Truman Show. Nothing was ever real about Kamala Harris. She was a complete and total creation. She was the last person holding the bag in the DEI pyramid scheme. That's it.
Tossed Kamala a big fat softball, and she swung and missed.
The most basic of questions. Why do you want to be President of the United States?
There are many reasons, but probably first and foremost, I truly believe in the promise of America. I do. And I love the American people. You know, we are a people who have ambition and aspirations and dreams and optimism and hope.
That's why you want to run. That's why you want to be
That's why I'm
president.
running. That and some other reasons.
But you're asking the American people to make you the most powerful person on the planet. Mm-hmm. Why do you deserve the American people's votes?
Well, first of all, I have a career and a history of being very clear that I think of my role of leadership, and in particular now for the last 4 years as vice president and moving forward as president, if the voters will have me, as being a leader on behalf of all Americans.
Every single answer from a ChatGPT or a Grok or like an AI answers basic questions better than this, like in orders of magnitude. AI is so much more sophisticated and so much better. Even the Chinese rip-off AIs, right? The dumpy, like dime store AIs, Temu AI is better than this. It's so bad that the cameraman misgendered Kamala Harris.
Kamala wasn't the only one having a rough night. One of the crew guys misgendered Madam Vice President.
Is that what you needed?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. 30 seconds of silence, please, for John.
As we go through the requirements of accepting that we live inside of a fake world, right, that is propped up by your tax dollars, and as we gut this infrastructure and ensure that media companies like CBS News, NBC, New York Times, Politico, ABC, these fraudulent organs get put back in their place or don't exist at all into the future, it's so important that we build something that actually does tell the truth. That's why we're thankful for you, ladies and gentlemen, subscribing to this channel. Just a reminder, Kamala Harris used the old, dying corporate dinosaur media model to try and get elected president, and Donald Trump used independent creators, and that was the result. So thank you. Please subscribe.